All right, welcome back into the Cowboys Report late night edition. Baby Olivia is down and hopefully will stay that way, but there is some noteworthy injury news coming out of the Cowboys late night practice tonight back in Dallas, Frisco area. It's on Tyler Smith. Not panic worthy, but also kind of very newsworthy in the end. Smith did not practice tonight for the Cowboys. They didn't say what it was at first. He wasn't out there. Then he came out later, but he wasn't in pads, didn't have anything wrapped or anything. And then Mike McCarthy said afterwards, yes, there is a minor ankle injury for the team's first round pick and presumed starter at left guard, although it's not considered serious, blah, blah, blah. I am inclined to believe them, although you can pretty much always bank on them lying at one point about an injury or multiple times about an injury at some point. So we'll break this down in depth, plus some other injury news and notes coming out of practice today for the Cowboys. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed. I'm getting glared at by my wife and her sister for doing an at-home video at 9 o'clock at night. But hey, that's the job, and we want to get you guys the news as it happens. So if you're not already, hit the big red button, and you know by now, help me feed my family as well. All right, back to Tyler Smith. I mentioned I'm inclined to believe them. They haven't lied so far about injuries, but I also would be lying to myself and to you if I wasn't at least a little bit concerned. There was nothing wrapped. There was no boot, nothing along those lines we could see in any of the photos from practice tonight for the Cowboys. But it's also not a good thing when your first round pick and the guy you haven't officially named the starter at left guard not out there, when he's missing valuable reps, missing valuable time with the team's, in theory, first team unit, when you're already down some other players. CeeDee Lamb was a partial participant, same with Noah Brown, more on them later on. I don't love it. I'm not panicking. I do believe it is minor. I would be a lot more worried if it was in a boot. It's not, and they put everyone they can in boots. I think it's in hopefully a similar category as the CeeDee Lamb injury, which we now know was he cut his foot doing what he called clown stuff. Still don't know what that is. Maybe not what you want to be doing anyway. So I do believe it is a minor, not serious injury for Tyler Smith. But I want to hear your guys' panic levels right now. So head down to the comment section, the pinned comment as always, and let me know how worried you are about Tyler Smith. Scale this for me from 1 to 100. If the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down to the pinned comment and let me know. One of the reasons I'm not that concerned about Tyler Smith is Connor McGovern, who is the other starting option at left guard, got some first-team center reps. Now, why exactly it took the Cowboys until August 23rd that we know of to give him real first-team reps at center, I don't know. That is something that should have been done on May 23rd, on April 23rd. It should have been done a while ago. That is not the route they chose to go for reasons that one day I'm sure I will understand, but probably not. They did give him some first-team reps. Matt Farniok has not been the challenger the Cowboys had acted like he was going to be at center, which isn't a surprise to me at all. I mean, it's a 7th round pick. Come on, let's be realistic there in the end. So I am curious that McGovern got first team reps at center, but part of that is if they were worried about Tyler Smith, actually, they wouldn't be giving him first team reps at center. They'd be giving him all of the reps at left guard. That they gave him first team reps at center means it is probably a minor thing about Tyler Smith, which I continue to hope will remain the case for the Cowboys, because let's be honest, your offensive line already was a bit of a red flag entering this year with uncertainty at left tackle staying healthy, a new player at left guard. Center got better last year as the year went on in Tyler Biadasz, but still is not playing at the level you want him to. Zach Martin remains future Hall of Famer Zach Martin. Terrence Steele he's got smoked by Micah Parsons a lot, which, it's Micah, so you can read it however you want to in the end. So are you guys worried then about Tyler Smith? Sound off for me in the comments section. Why for yes, and for no. Are you concerned, worried about the first round pick? I'm going to lean towards no myself. I reserve the right to change my mind. I kind of doubt we see him at all now in week 3 of the preseason, which you played Oso Odigizua, Tyler Smith, and Connor McGovern, plus I guess Jalen Tolbert as your starters. McCarthy again implied that you're not going to see many of the starters out there this week again, which I'm fine with, because why bother risking starter injuries? Plus, seems like Dak had a really good practice tonight. Get him some good reps there. don't be stupid and risk further injury there. But sound off for me again in the comments section. Are you worried about Tyler Smith? Why for yes and for no? Beyond the Tyler Smith injury and Connor McGovern, there are some other injury news and notes I want to hit here to wrap up today's video. Will Grier is back and still practicing after the groin injury he suffered before week 1 of the preseason. Sounds like he's not quite 100%, however, still a bit limited. I forget who had the note. I don't remember if it was Archer or Gelkin, whoever it was, made the comment that they had to run the RPO stuff twice, which is really the read option stuff twice, but whatever, because Grier couldn't quite move the way you want him to. I want him to push for Cooper Rush's starting job or backup job. We'll see. On the offensive line, Alec Lindstrom remains out with an ankle injury. If he does not get healthy by the end of the final preseason game, I would say keep an eye out for him as just an IR stash this year. Sit him on IR. Don't bother with him on roster cuts and see what he does next year if he can build up some strength and whatnot. One more key name to monitor beyond the other 3 big names who are starters or borderline starters is Sean McKeon. He is out again today with a knee injury. I don't know how severe that is, but Peyton Hendershot is pushing very hard to be tight end 3 on that roster. I've got my roster projection video coming out tomorrow, so depending on when you watch, maybe in a couple hours from now. I had McKeon on there. Could be an IR candidate. Could be what they've done in the past, and that is carry 4 tight ends, get Sean McKeon through the roster cuts, then place him on IR and bring him back potentially later on in the season. That would allow for 3 tight ends, along with McKeon and Hendershot, Ferguson, and Schultz, of course, so keep an eye on that one. Although CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown were back at practice today with the cut foot and the allegedly minor toe issue for Noah Brown, they did not participate in team drills, so a slower ramp up for those 2 guys. Not going to play in the preseason. I'm fine with that. Those 2 are, well, of course we knew Lamb was important. Noah Brown being important, not a great thing as far as I'm concerned. But those 2 should be fine. A lot of first-team reps for Dennis Houston and Simi Fehoko, the 5th-round pick out of Stanford, who is trending very hard toward making this team's 53-man roster. And then S Jayron Kearse was also back despite dealing with a back issue, which is a big deal for the Cowboys. I wanted to see him back this week. We got him back on Tuesday. I feel much better about his status in terms of the back injury. So that is your news and notes injury-wise here for the Dallas Cowboys. Tyler Smith, the big one, an ankle issue, not wrapped, etc. But it does sound like they're in okay shape from that perspective as things sit currently with Tyler Smith. We'll keep an eye on it, but I'm not panicking quite yet on that standpoint. So we'll keep you updated and make sure you're subscribed right here to the Cowboys Report.